These are the films that need to make the jump from the silver screen to the stage.
You've seen it?
Yes.
You haven't seen it?
Yes, I have.
Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Disney movies that should be adapted for Broadway. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we'll be looking at Disney films that we believe would make for excellent Broadway productions. We won't be including any Disney films with planned Broadway productions, such as Frozen and Hercules.
I would go most anywhere to find where I belong.
Number 10, The Great Mouse Detective.
Oh, Radigan! Oh, Radigan! The rest fall behind.
Since it came out before late 80s and early 90s classics, The Great Mouse Detective is often overlooked. Well, we need Basil on the case because it's downright criminal that this film didn't get more love.
Amazing. Actually, it's elementary, my dear Dawson.
This film only has a handful of musical numbers, but the Sherlock Holmes and mystery themes offer plenty of opportunity to inject some tunes. And we already know that the world's greatest criminal mind would be an absolute showstopper.
But it hasn't all been champagne and caviar.
Admittedly, it'd be hard to find someone to fill Vincent Price's shoes as Professor Ratigan, and a cast decked out as rodents would be hard to sell. But if cats can be hugely successful, why not mice?
Hey fellas, I'll take off all my blues.
Number 9, The Nightmare Before Christmas. Most things Disney seem to be associated with bright, fantastical locations and characters. If Broadway brought Tim Burton's Town of Halloween to life, however, it would no doubt be a beautifully gothic, eerie, and exciting experience.
This is Halloween, everybody make a scene, trick or treat. Tell the neighbors gonna die of fright, it's our time.
The design and performances of Jack Skellington, Oogie Boogie, and Sally would no doubt be breathtaking to behold, especially when it comes to their signature songs.
You're joking. I can't believe my ears. Would someone shut this fella up? I'm drowning in my tears.
Whether you're a huge fan of The Pumpkin King or just want something a little different for Christmas, this could truly be a haunting breath of fresh air for theater goers.
What's this? I can't believe my eyes. I must be dreaming. Wake up, Jack. This isn't fair.
Number 8, Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl. Granted, it's unlikely that the battle sequences and set pieces could be fully translated to the stage, given the size and scope of the film. Plus, it's always a gamble as to whether any of the newly crafted songs would gel with the rest of the narrative. But one thing is assured, nail the part of Captain Jack Sparrow and the rest will all fall into place.
Son, I'm Captain Jack Sparrow. Savvy?
Given the franchise's steady decline in quality, perhaps a stage-bound reimagining is just what the swashbuckling juggernaut needs. Oh, and please give Pintel and Rigetti their own song. They deserve at least that much.
Stop that. I really feel like a fool.
Number 7, Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
I don't want no commodious substitution or remote in transitory convolution.
No one could ever replace Angela Lansbury as our favorite witchcraft practitioner. But after 4 decades, we think it's time that the famous bed took flight again to introduce a whole new generation to its wonder.
What do you suggest? Well, it needs rhythm, tempo, music. As I always say, do it with a flair.
With the backdrop of a war-torn London during the Blitz, mixed together with the magical land of Naboombu, the chance to create an intricate and stunning piece is ripe for the taking, so long as they can get the flying mechanics sorted out. Here's hoping that the age of not believing isn't here just yet.
When you set aside your childhood heroes and your dreams are lost upon a shelf, you're at the age of not believing.
Number 6, Pocahontas. There was certainly some backlash regarding the portrayal of Native Americans when this Disney princess made her landmark debut, but many are in agreement that this flick nailed it in the music department.
Just around the river bend, once more. Just around the river bend, beyond the shore.
So what better way to pay homage and slightly tweak the story than by having Broadway put its own spin on Pocahontas? Here are a few ideas to pull it off. Add another layer of development to Pocahontas' people, maybe cut back on the antics of her beloved raccoon pal, but for the love of everything, go all out when it comes to Colors of the Wind.
Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
Number 5. Hocus Pocus. The massive cult status this film has earned is more than enough reason to give it a chance in the spotlight, with its 90s cheesiness making it a perennial Halloween favorite.
Go to hell!
Oh, I've been there, thank you. I found it quite lovely.
But ultimately, there are really only 3 things a Broadway production of Hocus Pocus needs to get right. And their names are Winifred, Sarah, and Mary Sanderson.
Why was I cursed with such idiot sisters?
Just lucky, I guess.
The chemistry and comedy of this trio of witches made the film what it is. So as long as they manage to snag the majority of the production's running time and get a whole plethora of songs to themselves, this one writes itself.
I put a spell on you, and now you're gone.
Number 4. Mulan. She's one of the greatest animated female characters of all time. Of course she deserves a shot at Broadway. The tale of one woman's struggle to protect her family and find her true path in life as she joins the war effort against the Huns would indeed be a monster of a production to make, given all the combat and explosions. However, as long as they give us a captivating Mulan whose rendition of Reflection cuts at our heartstrings, it should be smooth sailing.
When will my reflection show who I am inside?
Of course, it's safe to say that if pulled off successfully, I'll Make a Man Out of You would be the highlight of the whole show. Number 3. Tangled. Talk about coming out swinging.
Best day ever!
As part of the modern lineup of Disney princesses, the story of Rapunzel was given a modern interpretation with plenty of humor,
Alone at last.
poignancy, and a love story that stayed true to her character as a dreamer just dying for a chance at a new life outside of her tower. With so many hit songs like I See the Light and Mother Knows Best, Tangled has the potential to be a powerhouse on Broadway, should they successfully fill the parts of Rapunzel, Flynn Rider, Mother Gothel, and of course, Maximus and Pascal.
Nobody appreciates you, do they? Do they?
A shortened stage musical has already premiered on the Disney Cruise Line. Perhaps Tangled will make it to Broadway someday too.
Sorry, boys, I don't sing.
Number 2. The Princess and the Frog. Bringing the look of New Orleans, topics like responsibility and racism, not to mention some killer jazz numbers to the forefront of the Disney scene, The Princess and the Frog is an ideal candidate to translate to the Broadway stage. Sure, a stage show would not have the luxury of beautifully animated transformation scenes, but the things that could be done with songs like Almost There and When We're Human would be nothing short of marvelous.
That seems just about right. Hey, Lewis, life is short when you're done, you're done. We're on this earth to have some fun.
And let's not forget the spectacular villain Dr. Facilier, whose performance of Friends on the Other Side could be a showstopper. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Me? A princess? Shut up!
I beg your pardon?
Number 1. The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Disney's take on the Hunchback of Notre Dame actually inspired a stage adaptation in Germany. An English version eventually made it to America, but never made the leap to Broadway.
What makes a monster and what makes a man?
What makes a monster and what makes a man?
Regardless, we feel it's time Broadway got its hands on this Victor Hugo-inspired Disney classic.
Just to live one day out there.
Given the film's scale and scope in terms of setting and musical numbers, it would certainly be an ambitious undertaking. However, we have no doubt that live performances of God Help the Outcasts and Hellfire would not only be a feast for the ears, but for the eyes as well. Especially if they can get themselves a conniving, creepy, and oddly enthralling Frollo on par with Tony J.
Be mine or you will burn.
You agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Ms. Mojo and subscribe for new videos every day.